What's up, guys? I hope you are having a great Wednesday, since it's the day I'm recording this, or the day you're watching this. Hope you're having a great day. We are currently going to backtest for some minutes before we go for some other appointments, but we have to do some backtesting for the day. So let's get into it. Let's not spend much time in the talking and do the analysis. So I'm going to analyze JPY. It had been some days without me doing some backtesting on it, but I am going to have some moments to do backtesting on JPY. So first of all, let's go to the monthly time frame. The reason I did that is because you can see after this move we have started making some moves without high intensity, which means we are in this range from this high to this low. We are in this range right here. I just want to see the monthly view of this. If you go to the monthly, you can see that since it was in a downtrend, but I can't consider that this whole downtrend very much, because we have this price leg here with a correction move to the upwards, going downwards, and then we can look on lower time frames now to see how it's all going. So what the monthly time frame has shown us is that this was a bullish month, bearish month, and since this was a small retracement to this fair value gap right here, this big one right here, then we can expect to go higher and maybe touch this big order block, like why not, or this breaker block in here. But since we're on the monthly time frame, I can't really base off of that, because that will take way long to reach there. We can start taking our analysis, can start taking our solid analysis on prior days, such as 3 days and some other days. So what can we anticipate is maybe to go higher and then maybe go lower in the future to target these lows right here, because there's a side liquidity. But let's go on the weekly time frame now. So what do we see on the weekly time frame? We can see we were in an uptrend, then it dropped right here, and after dropping we had this corrective move going up to the upward, dropping and then going higher. So you haven't currently determined the narrative, not even the bias. When we go to the 1 day, we can see that market had dropped this in this corrective move. We are currently in the corrective move, and that corrective move is actually what we are going to consider as a high time frame move, and these downtrends will be the corrective moves instead. This will be the impulsive move, because we're going to trade this small daily move right here. So we want to predict what 2 hour or 4 or 3 hour candle can do. So simply, what do we see right here? We can see that, let's mark up some important levels first. So we can see this low right here, sell side. We got sell side right here. You can also see we've got buy side, but we can mark this one since it's the nearest. Okay, this is buy side liquidity, this is buy side, this is sell side. We've got a fair value gap which was tapped into right here, daily fair value gap, this one right here. Okay, and you can also see that we all have another fair value gap in here which was tapped into. And without going further, you can see that we have a breaker block right here, which means we can anticipate market to go a bit higher. This breaker block in here, you can see it. And to prevent too much confetti in my charts, I'm going to remove these, as long as we know that we have some levels in here, such as this breaker and this fair value gap, which are making the market push a little bit higher. And what else can we mark up? So instead the market decides to reverse, we can have some potential retracement levels, retracement areas such as this fair value gap on the daily time frame. So let's go lower now. Let's go to the 4 hours first of all. So what do we see on the 4-hour time frame? You can see that I have buy side still, and yeah, you can mark lower time frame buy side liquidity and high time. So this is high time frame liquidity. When you go to the lower time frame, you can see this downward move headed into this fair value gap, then pushed up higher again. So since we were in a corrective move, we might expect to take out the highs that were above on the high time frame, because we have to finish up this corrective move as we saw on the high time frame to approach the order block. So that is actually our narrative, and then we can have a bullish bias like this. Since looking on the day, we can have a bullish bias, and this time frames could also give us some kind of a bullish bias. Let's go to the 2 hour now. So what we see on the 2 hour, we can see that we have liquidity right here, and we can see that we are currently in a fair value gap. Today is Thursday at 3. You can see that the market is already about to open. Let's look up at 8:30 as well, 9:30, sorry. Thursday at 9:30. Can I get on the 30-minute? Okay, so I have a bullish bias and expect market to push a little bit higher. So let's see what it did at the start of the session. You can see it dropped. Let's play it and see how it will go by the start of New York. So before New York starts, what can we note? We can note some highs of the sessions. So London session started at 3, or it started at 2 right here. Right, so what's the high? What is the high that London created? You can see that we have, this is the London low right here. Oh, come on. Okay, something is wrong with this text though. Okay, so let's write it like this, London low. Okay, we can duplicate it and put the London high here, because this is the high that was in London high. Okay, and let's extend it a little bit until the end of this session. Okay, so what else do we see? Let's mark up Asia session, which usually starts at, I think in my time it's 2 in the morning. So basically in New York time it will be 8 in the afternoon, if my calculations are right. Let's see, of the previous day, of course. So this would be Asian session right here. This is Asian session. So, and this is the Asia low. You can see London didn't take it out, and this Asia high wasn't taken out as well. So let's mark them out. This one right here, and let's mark this one right here. So also potential liquidity levels. So what's the 15-minute now? So what do we see on the 15-minute is the market was ranging a bit. You can see it wasn't creating very impactful moves. But when we go to the higher time frame, like this, we can see that. Okay, yeah, you can see that market was basically in an uptrend, then reached this high, started dropping into this fair value gap, and might have potential reaction to it, targeting these highs, and hence for the day trade we will target these London highs and Asian highs. So let's go to the 15-minute now. Let's see if we will get an entry, because we have sorry, let me go on the 5 minute. We can see that we have our fair value gap right here, which was, sorry, we have our liquidity sweep in the London session. We have our sweep. You can see we have a market shift in here. You can see it, I guess. You can see a market shift in here. And then we can see a fair value gap. So our first entry would have been in London session right here. This is a good fair value gap. So let's see what New York is about to do this. Okay, so it dropped into the fair value gap. Let me decrease the speed a little bit. So our trade would be something like this. Target this, put under this low, then we target London high, and we put our fair value gap right in the open of the candle. So basically this is it. The reason I don't take the trade on the actual backtesting account is because when the session ends, then the data is removed because I don't have the premium. So I just do this, then I journal it. Right, so let's go with it and see. Let's see how this trade goes. So you can see we were stopped out. We didn't even reach our 2R. Well, we reached the 2R actually, but you can see we were stopped out. So we're targeting the London highs. What wrong thing did we do on this trade? Let's go on the 15 minute and have a, sorry, 25 minute? No, let's go on the 15 minute and have a closer look. So looking closely on this, we can see that we had liquidity on the lower side. I can agree with that, and we went higher for some moments before dropping. So, well, can't say this was a bad trade, but let's try to learn what we did wrong. So first of all, you can see that the London lows were taken out, then the same as the Asian lows. When we go on the 5 minute, we can actually see that, okay, I'm trying to frame what market would have reacted on, because we are in a downtrend, so it might be this or the block, this one right here, as you can see it here, and then dropped, looking to take off these London lows. And then we go to the 30 minutes. So you can see that market continued dropping lower. And what can we see from this? Maybe this will be a corrective move, and we will be targeting this low, and we would be in a downtrend because we didn't take up this high, we didn't take up this high, this high wasn't taken out, this one wasn't taken out. So that would lead us to a conclusion of saying that the trade was in a downtrend, but it, wait a minute, so this would have been on to 9, but what I'm trying to say is, but the reason it didn't work out would be because it wasn't a downtrend. So how should I be determining bias? Well, I watched a JetCap tutorial saying that bias is usually determined by the candles. So this candle closed below this recent one, which means it's a visible downtrend. But is that how we should be determining bias? I also don't know, but I think maybe he's right. So this one closed below this one closed below this one the same thing, but this one tried to take off. As you can see, it did a small liquidity sweep. So, well, it didn't provide a point to enter, but maybe it will do since we're still in the morning. No worries. So let's do this. Let's actually journal it. Okay, go to the journal. So don't spend much time thinking why this is called May journals, because I already had the April trades in another table, but I didn't know how to migrate them, so I'm going to journal the May journal since we are almost already in May. Some countries have already stepped in May, so on the backtest I'll add a new trade, so it's trade 4, I guess. Then the account was the FS replay backtesting was today, and the symbol was GBP or GBP JPY. I think we'll add another in symbols, so let's go to symbols a bit. Let's put a new pair, GBP JPY. JPY icon. Let's see, maybe we can find it this way. There's no other way I thought of finding it, so let's do it like this. Copy image address and we plug it right here. JPY, great. So let's now go back to the journal. Save this. Sorry, actually this can open. And symbol is JPY. So the model we entered off of a favorable gap. Then let me put the screen. Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me put the screen. We'll add the other details later. The reason I added the screen is because so profit or loss, net P&L was minus 2,000 because I assume I risk 2k of the account every time, and max risk reward was 3. Risk, I risked 2%. The reason I do the assumption is because I don't usually do the testing on this account, and it's even 100, so let's see what we can do here. So stop loss and pips. Let me see this stop loss. Stop loss was 9. Well, this is 9 actually. Counting from here to here. I think it's 93. Yeah, it's 93 because 141.948 plus 0.90 is equal to 0.8 what? Let's go 142.04 minus 0.04 minus 141.94. So it's 0.1 pips on it's 0.1 pips because it's 0.09, so it's on 0.1. Okay, so it's 0.1 JPY. So it was closed by stop loss, it was a sell. Order type, it was a market order. Interest signal, we had a candle confirmation and the change in state of delivery. In the confluences, we actually had none. It was on the 5-minute time frame. New York session. Wait, was it New York? Yeah, it was New York. Type of trade, it was a day trade. And our bias was bearish, even though the narrative was bullish. Yeah. So we actually traded against the bias. Right, so let's continue. Let's continue doing some backtesting now. So you can see that the London walls were taken out. Let's see what market does next. So when we go to the 1 hour, let's see which level it will react off of. see it's trying to push a little bit higher again. When I go to the 15-minute, okay, we can see retracement to the fair value gap, this big gap. Maybe the 5-minute, you can see something like this. So should we enter? Well, might be a good time to enter, but where would we be targeting? Let's look on the 1 hour. Any next liquidity point or important level. So going on the 1 hour, the next important level would be this order block right here, as you can see it. So this will be the next point to target if we want to take a trade. So let's see if we are to take a trade on this. If you go to the 5-minute, we can see that price is halfway there, but let's see what it does. So it drops and directly hits take profit. Nice one, and even goes lower than it lower. So let's see how the PM session will go. Create levels, no fair value gap, and retest it back into it. Okay, we have this order block in the 5-minute. So is it being retested? We can enter off of it. Let's see. So it's currently lunch hour. Let's see what happens in lunch hour rate. So now price starts to make some small moves. Okay, so lunch hour was over. You can see we traded back to this order block. And price became really choppy. This is usually where the market starts to recalibrate after making such big moves. So I don't think we'll be looking at this pair for some days, because it will start chopping up, obviously, like until Friday, maybe, or until Friday starts, or maybe next week. Let's see. So we have a really big consolidation in here at the point that Thursday is about to end, and it's still in that consolidation. Okay, boom, we have a rise to the upside after testing that order block on the higher time frame. The order block start is marked by this line here so that you can be confused by it. So has Friday started? Not yet. So let's mark up some important points for Friday. So what do we see? We can still look at it started to rally up. Let's remove this graffiti and remain with this order block. Let's add top right and all will be great. So if we get a retracement to this fair value gap, then we would expect market to push higher and react off of the order block, since our narrative is still bullish. Okay, is it 2 yet? It's not yet 2, but 2 will be somewhere here. But we can't ignore these moves, because these moves are happening in Asian session. So actually GBP is that kind of pair which you can trade for any time, because Asian session, because it's in JPY, the London session GBP, and New York session basically because banks, the USD banks also trade this pair. So I think it's a really influential one, and the reason I added New York is because New York is the most volatile, and it also makes other non-USD pairs volatile as well. So let's see how this goes. It starts dropping now. Drop drops into the fair value gap, drops lower and lower. So what happens before the start of London session? Right, so London session started. Should go in for a buy. Well, we have a fair value gap retest, but is this strong enough to make us enter? So we don't have us. The only sweep would be this one, and the shifting structure would be right breaking this recent high before continuing to the upside. So this would be our entry right here. Target low of this fair value gap, and have a 1 to 2 targeting this high. Yeah, let's play it out and see. So second trade stopped out, and boom, we are out of this trade as well. So maybe I think this is the time we should shift our narrative and then look for the downside. So we journal this as well, but at a later time. So something is like, who had GJ? I mean, this bloodbath is really crazy. I mean, look at what London session did. So let's wait for 9:30 now. Okay. Look at this crazy drop. I'm starting to think there was some news or some other thing making. This was me adding liquidity to the market now instead of spotting the liquidity. So this is the day I added liquidity to the market, because you can see I'm doing buys while everything is dropping as crazy. So as we can see, we also have this order block. So shall we activate it? Let's find out. So what happened at 9:30? Market was indecisive a bit, consolidated, so I think I had a small observation in here. What if we are looking for a power? There's a power of 3 which is incoming. Yeah. This high was taken out, so we've shifted our bias to bearish. And since this is, I think this is an Asian session, yeah, it's Asian session, obviously. Yeah, so these were the moves that market was making during the Asian session, starting at 8 in the afternoon. So what should we be really targeting now? Can expect to break this thing, we can expect to break this fair value gap, and if we break it, it will be a good confirmation to continue selling, because this will be some ranging, then take out the high, then head lower in the power of 3, sorry, without a soup, yeah, in the power of 3, because power of 3 is related to sessions, but then it will be a good turtle soup. So we're gonna get a turtle soup. And so far we can see that was in an uptrend, then came to retest this fair value gap, but it's at 2, which means it's the start of the session, and then it starts pumping higher. So you can see this big moves, big moves, really crazy one. You can see this. Missed out on this one. We really missed out on this one. See a fair value gap, and an entry will be something like this. Even if we'll target 1 to 3, I mean, okay, well, that's because we have a big R, but even if we target 1 to 3, it would have been a good trade. So it's now heading for higher times. So I guess the option we have left is to wait for the London session, sorry, the New York session to kick in. Those are our only hopes left. So we had 2 losing trades so far. So after this sweep, we can see a good, I mean after this rebalance, because this all move was to rebalance, we can see a small consolidation in here. So what I would want to take a trade, what would make me take a trade, is simply a small sweep off of here, testing this fair value gap and taking out of this highs, then heading to the lower side. Did we get a liquidity sweep? No, we didn't. And it kept ranging, but heading to the downside. Okay, that's when we would actually like to enter, but looks like it has different plans. Let's wait for Tuesday now. So Tuesday at the start of London session, right here. Let's look if we can wait for a trade there. And before we do that, going to the 1 hour, you can actually see that it has tried to rebalance into the upside, and we would expect now to continue pushing higher, because you can see we were reacting off of this order block. We can expect pushing higher until we take off this liquidity, these highs right here. Let's go to the 15 minute now. You can see it pushing, but without much energy. Okay, so it dropped again. Crazy market, crazy price action. I mean, this is really crazy. Okay, so you can see that market went a bit lower. Well, there's something I noticed on the 1 hour. A small thing I noticed on the 1 hour. You can see we have an auto block right here. Market traced back into it and it's trying to go higher. And when you go to the 15 minute, you can expect market to go higher, of course. So let's go to the 5 minute. You can see our sweep right here, shift, fair value gap, retest, and we can have a buy entry here now. At this point, if this one doesn't work out, I'll be like that person who's always buying. So let me also write this. Have our sweep. This middle center. Okay, so let's play this one out and see. So does this one work out? Let's wait and see. No surprise, but why did it work out? Maybe market wasn't targeting to go higher. We're looking to learn that after continuously backtesting GPY. So you can see it's crazy market, but we can adjust and see how we can make the strategy also work on the paper, because we know it works. There's proof of concept. So let's journal this and we'll keep learning more about how this works. This is actually making the journal look very, very red. Anyway, so let's start with the first one. This one, there's the one we had took a screenshot of, which is this one. Sorry, I think I'll do. Okay. So mistakes on this trade. Okay, so what mistakes did we have? Should I say we did not take profit, because we didn't take partials, but I don't think we did. Maybe there were just wrong circumstances. I really also don't know. I guess it's a lack of research. That's what I would say. Psychology, it was neutral, and it was a loss because it was a minus 2k, and as we saw, it targeted 3R, risk of 2%, stop loss in pips. I really don't remember, but let's zoom in a bit. You can see 142.040 minus 141 minus dot 94 is equal to 0.12. That's crazy. Yeah, that's 0.1. Or do I have the wrong image? I think I didn't copy it. So let's move this. Yeah, and come here, copy this one, then go to screen and paste it. So you can see the stop loss was 141 minus 141.17 minus 141.021. It was 0.149 pips, and the status was closed by SL position. It was a buy, and order type market order, entry signal. We didn't have one, and I think it was a reaction on another block, and the time frame was the 5-minute element of that buy session. What was the session? I think the session was London session. Session is London here. London close. Type of trade, it was a day trade. Bias, it was bullish. And for the narrative, we also had a bullish narrative. News impact, there was no news impact. And first model symbol, GBP/JPY. It was done today, and on the FX replay backtesting account. Yeah, I think that was all for the trade. And so I guess that was all for today. We'll keep on doing some backtesting. You can see that we have a small weakness in GJ, and we'll work so hard to correct it. So we apologize, this video came in a bit long. It's about 40 minutes, and until we talk again, work harder and be safe.